Hello, I'm Becky with Landmark Valleywide Title. The numbers in our housing market are ever changing, so it's important to stay up to date on those numbers. So with Market Insights, we bring you the stats, facts, and figures to keep you and your clients informed. Join us now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Scott Kiburz with Market Insights for Landmark Title, July 2023. Let's begin, Sarah. So today's agenda, we got some headlines from Real Estate News and Inman, pretty powerful. We've got several things happening at the national stage, stock prices, other things that are happening. We'll go through a few of those from an insight standpoint. We're going to look hard at the numbers for Maricopa and then let the individual cities come through the end. And we'll teach you, make sure you know how to read the various graphs of the individual cities. Next, Sarah. So let's start with some fast facts coming out about our marketplace. We currently have 8243 active listings in Maricopa County. The number of single-family townhomes, condos have been fairly consistent for the last 6+ months. Sold 5,952. That's again in Maricopa County. Our absorption rate decreased down to 60.57%. We were running 70+% this time last month. Coming soon, a mere 414. Interest rates have been lingering between 6.5 and 7.5 on the high. Average sale price $580, $442 per transaction in Maricopa County only. Sarah, next. So a couple different things happening out there, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to convey to you. This is just in the spirit of working in your business, working on your business. These are things that are important for agents and brokers to know at the national stage. Last week, on the 30th, there was a settlement of $3 million paid for MLS PIN, which is out of Massachusetts, for disclosure with buyer broker. Now, this particular association is owned by brokers. Here in Arizona, we're owned by the Scottsdale, Phoenix, and We Serve Association in terms of our MLS. The MLS in Massachusetts, the biggest one, is owned by brokers, and they paid out $3 million penalty or settlement just to have this lawsuit about buyer broker commissions go away. If this is something that you're just now learning about, ladies and gentlemen, know that there are some national lawsuits that have been going on for since 2019. One of them is coming to fruition in October of this year. It's slated to go to trial. They're seeking, with a B, billions of dollars. This is just the local MLS PIN paying out $3 million. Ladies and gentlemen, how we do business in the future is going to be changing, this being disrupted, and this is part of it. And this was a surprise to me personally. That's why I shared it with you right up front in the beginning. Next slide, Sarah. So NAR pushes back on a claim against growing sexual assault. There is an event happening nationally, and it's happening everywhere. And this is the lawsuit that NAR just came into play in the last 10 days. Sarah? The housing market, this was a great update by the numbers. This is out of Real Estate News. Housing market did an about face and upended expectations for 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, if you talk to anybody doing forecasts late last November, December, early January, our market has not done what in the second half what they thought it would do. So please know interest rates have remained high. Inflation is quieting. The job market is still very strong, but our housing prices, we essentially have low demand, but we have low inventory, and because of that, it feels like high demand. When you're out there with a buyer, there could be multiple offers, paying over asking, still waiving things. If you got a quality listing and it's highly sought after, people will surge and go after your listing to buy. Next, Sarah. The Wall Street Journal, 3 million houses are over $150,000. I'm sorry, households. What they're saying here, ladies and gentlemen, from the Wall Street Journal is there are 3 million family households where the household makes $150,000 annually and they're still renters. And I share this with you, ladies and gentlemen, because people sometimes want flexibility. They don't want the heartache of repairing things, fixing things. But that is a lot of potential buyers who are on the sideline as well. And they're remaining in even keel mode, just staying renters until interest rates come down, job market changes, etc. There is a lot of people on the sidelines that absolutely qualify to be homeowners. Sarah? Single-family residence homes, ladies and gentlemen, are on the rise. This is out of John Burns. So if you look at what's happening nationally, this is a thing. I've seen advertisements on TV where people are advertising the whole subdivision is rentals. And in that advertisement, everybody is the same. And it allows you to get in and out if you're in a job that you know you're going to be in for 6 to 12, 24 months, and you don't want to be tied down with home ownership. It's a great place to live. But what it's also saying is rates of rent are going up. And finally, why would a builder even want to build single family homes that go straight to rental? Well, one of the most important things, or one of the most valuable things that are in this growing trend is in Arizona, they do not have to provide a 100-year water supply. And that is having an impact on why builders are building in that type of product. Sarah? Population. So ladies and gentlemen, here, we're still one of the fastest growing cities in terms of growth in Metro Phoenix, and we're still in just a desirable place. Next slide. Here in Phoenix, this is out of CoStar, and this is specifically about Arizona. And what they're saying here is our hotel rate is up, investments for self-storage is up, developers start massive industrial parks on West Side. That's pretty obvious for anybody who lives out there, but for those who have not been along the 303, there are massive warehouses being built out there. Apartment towers at the Optima Kierland in North Phoenix is growing, and there is $300 million in apartment refinancing by True America. Phoenix retail rents soar as vacancies hit an all-time low. And that's all coming from CoStar's site visit. Sarah? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I could spend a couple hours just on this one slide, but what I want to convey to the audience today, whether you're a single agent, a buyer agent, a listing agent, if you're a big team runner, if you're a broker, ladies and gentlemen, there's more disruption coming. And so what I invite you to do is to start watching key companies in our space. And on the left-hand column are companies that are Zillow, Redfin, CoStar, Lane One. Those are all providers of services to MLSs, to brokers, to agents, and directly to consumers. They are up significantly. In fact, Redfin has come out of the dark and is up 188% this year alone. CoStar up only 14% this year, but that represents billions of dollars. And so in that space, we're going to use the phrase, the bigs are getting bigger. And these are companies that provide services directly to a variety of agents, consumers. When you look at the top two bars there, Compass and EXP, both those companies are up as well. And I just want you to see what is being talked about and what is feeling an uptick in market share and market cap. And then in white, Anywhere and Remax, more traditional companies, what are they experiencing? Both of them are down slightly, and their market caps are under $1 billion. Next, Sarah. Okay, this was a last minute ad on Airbnb rentals versus home sales. And ladies and gentlemen, in Arizona, when we were not locked down as tight as, say, California was, our Airbnb rate of rental was super high. And as the pandemic has lessened and lessened, people are getting out and going to other places in Arizona. And the number of homes that are an Airbnb VRBO that are coming up for sale is starting to climb. And so watch this space, ladies and gentlemen, because some people got used to a high occupancy rate and built all their pro forma around that. And if that's not going to perform at the same rate, they're going to possibly look to be selling those properties in 2023 and beyond. Sarah, next. Okay, so we're about to go into some numbers here, but I want you to think not in terms of do I have a qualified buyer or seller. I want you to think about what mode they're in. And I blew up even keel mode. There is a percent of people who would like to buy a different home or list and sell and go to a bigger or a smaller home that are just staying even keel due to interest rates. We know for a fact that 70% of homes that do have a mortgage, 70% have a mortgage under 4%. Now, in the latest purchases, beginning 5 months of the year, 40% of all transactions were cash only. And so those that have cash and can perform are out there still performing. But there's people out there that truly would like to downsize, some of the baby boomers. And there's other people who would truly love to have a bigger home for the twins that are on the way. And they're remaining even keel because they don't want to surrender a low interest rate on their current property. So I just want to put that out in perspective. There's more people in even keel mode than normal. Sarah? So looking at some activity here, I'm going to just move this super quick. So ladies and gentlemen, total actives in MLS, 11,477. That is everything from Pinell and other parts of the US. If they can put it in ARMLS, they do. It's at 11,477. Not much change in the last 2 months, but definitely down since March. We have definitely burned off some of our inventory. When we look at Maricopa County, we're very similar all the way down through all these numbers until we get to total sold in Maricopa County at under 6,000. And again, my personal bellwether and has been forever is total single family in Maricopa County, 4,666. So we're under 5,000 doors sold for millions of people in Maricopa County, Metro Phoenix. Sarah? Okay, so some quick math. I like to put things in perspective. We hit some of our lowest inventory at 4,000 doors with 153 zip codes. That was averaging 26 listings per zip code. As of the first, we were at 8,300, which is essentially 54 listings per zip code. Now, data point in the Southeast Valley, ladies and gentlemen, we've had some significant growth, and we've added 3 new zip codes in Chandler, Apache Junction corridor. And so we have growth happening out there. Next, Sarah. Okay. Let's look hard at these numbers here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first. This is July 1st. And what we're looking at here in big black letters, 8164 active, 5516 sold, and listing count under contract 6772. Look at the bottom left graph, sold to list, that our median and average sale price have been running in a parallel form here for quite a while, and they're creeping back up towards 100%. I also want to point out that as of June 1st, May, June, bottom right graph, the 4 far right graphs, blue and red, that there was a slight uptick in home price, average sale price from May to June. Okay, Sarah, I had to be historic there. I want people to stay close attention to the bottom right graph. As we go to the next slide, Sarah. So I realize, ladies and gentlemen, that July 1st was Saturday, 2nd Sunday. Not a lot of people probably had a scheduled closing on the 3rd, maybe some leftover files that just could not close on Friday the 30th. Here we had July 4th yesterday, and we're here recording this on the morning of the 5th. But ladies and gentlemen, those last 4 bars represent a $20 decrease in the average sale price from June to July. If you look at that hard, the last six lines, May, June, July, we're off $20 a square foot. And also the median and average sold to list price, bottom left graph, are starting to converge just a little bit. The median is leveling off just under 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, I realize it's early in the month and these numbers may spring back because of this holiday and the way the dates of the month landed. We're going to watch this trend closely in the next 10 days and see if those numbers bounce right back or not. But that is an indicator. That's a pretty big, $20 a square foot is a pretty big shift, ladies and gentlemen. Sarah? Okay. Also, with that shift came months of supply. So we jumped up to 1.6 month, and our absorption rate went to 60.97%. So we decreased our absorption rate about 10% from what we were running. Sarah? Okay, here is all of Maricopa and Pinal County aggregated together. We're down 9.4%. Listings are down in blue 23.9%. And the median sale price for all that corridor for over 4 million people, $253.38 in yellow. $253.38 is our average sale price, again, down 9.4%. How did we get there? Sarah, next slide. If we aggregate out Maricopa County and Pinal County, Maricopa County is down 8.8 and Pinal County is down 11. And that's also down 11%. The average number started lower anyway. So Pinal County is down to $195.54 a square foot. Sarah, next slide, please. So here are the backup numbers that I'd like to point out for you, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a couple of things I want to focus on, please. So actives at 8441. This again is back to Maricopa County. Are under contract on this date of the report, 6893. If you look right below the word under contract, you see red. That's down 10%, 10.42% from where we were just 30 days ago, and down 3% from 3 months ago. However, 6 months ago, it's up 43%. And from a year ago, this time it's down only 8%. Sold listings, well, that's looking back. And so sold listings were 26, excuse me. That's up 19, almost 20% from where it was a month ago, up 39, almost 40% 3 months ago, and up 60% from 3 months ago. Here's my point, ladies and gentlemen. The solds are looking back 30 days and beyond. The under contract is right now, the 30-day is looking ahead. And there looks to be some quieting there in the marketplace. Now, under contract, 6893 versus new listing, 6,076. We're not adding a lot of inventory. As I mentioned earlier, there's essentially low demand and low inventory. But because they're both low, houses that are quality are going quickly. Now, in the circle graph, I want to point out just two quick things. Normal sales running 84%. That's been our tradition here for quite a while, all of Maricopa County. New builds, 10.9%. That's a lot of new homes as a percentage. And fix and flip, a year and a half ago, we're running 20% of any market, running probably 15% of ours, is a mere 4.11%. That is changed because of interest rates. The cost of money. People are waiting on the sidelines thinking, I really hope interest rates do come down. Sarah, next slide, please. Okay, at a glance, active listings in Maricopa County. And we've been tracking down the last 90 days from 9168 on the far right to 8441 to 8282. That really hasn't changed a lot. We're running a choice of about 8,000 plus homes for 4 million people. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of choice. Next slide, Sarah. Here we go with under contract. And this is as of June 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, what I want to point out here is that's about 1,000 doors fewer, 1,100 doors fewer than we had just 2 months ago. And we're going to feel that in our closed sales at the end of July going into August. August is usually a a slower month due to back to school and reset of holiday vacations. So August and December traditionally are two of our slower months, and it's shaping up to look like that yet again. Sarah? Closed units. So we leapfrogged over May, and June came down to 5351 in Maricopa County. Ladies and gentlemen, at our peak, we were doing 12,000 listings closed in Maricopa County in our MLS. We have the capacity, manpower, skills, realtors to do all that. But this is why I led with even keel mode in terms of our marketplace. There are still a lot of people moving to Phoenix every single month. Straight to rental home market is growing, and the number of people closing on transactions is dwindling back to 5351. Sarah? And then finally here with new listings. And so that's been just over 7,000 the last 90 days. These are new homes coming into market. Clearly, we have the capacity to do a whole lot more than that. And we're kind of in even keel mode yet again. Sarah? So, ladies and gentlemen, for the balance of the report here, we're looking at two slides, one for the city and then one that makes up these circle graphs. And so let's just slow down here for a second, Sarah, and go through this really quick. And then it just repeats for the 28, 35 cities we have that follow in alphabetical order. If you'll go back one more, go back to Apache Junction, let me begin. So active listings, 48.5 active listings. That is up from 101 this time a year ago. Solds are up almost 7% in Apache Junction. Median sale price is down. That got to look hard there. Down at 9.1% at 254.45 from a year ago. They were at 279.89. Supply is up 38, almost 39% to 1.95 months. And the median days on market is 44 versus 18 a year ago. So that's how you read that graph. And what I love about this graph, ladies and gentlemen, is if you are representing a buyer or a seller in that corridor of Apache Junction, this is a great graph that anybody could take and feel comfortable at a dining room table, at a coffee shop, talking to a buyer or seller. It's very easy to show the trends and the 5 key things that are happening in our market. Now, the numbers behind that, Sarah, next slide, come out here. So the active listings in Apache Junction were 150. Under contract, 106. That's a lot. Sold listings at 77 and new listings at 96. So if you look back, we have an absorption rate right at 50%, which is currently the trend, 50 to 60%. But if you look at the under contract versus new listings, in essence, that's a cheater's way to look into the future. And what it's saying is we're actually putting more homes under contract than we are adding, which means prices will probably go up. Competitiveness will definitely go up. And if we do ever get the benefit of a lower interest rate into the high 5s, mid 5s, this will go into a very competitive market right away. That is how to read these various graphs, Sarah, and for everybody out there. And then as Sarah, if we advance, now we're going to just go from A to the letter T of the various cities. And this is designed for helping the people who are working in specific metros that they can see what's happening in their local city. It's always a pleasure to work with you, Sarah. Thank you for today. And for anybody out there with title needs, Landmark does a great job. We're happy to provide these numbers to you on a monthly basis. And for that, Sarah, I'm going to let you zing through there, come back live on the screen with me, and close with any other things you'd like to share. It's always a pleasure. Stay cool out there and wear sunscreen if you're out and about. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for watching. Join us every month on Market Insights to be the realtor in the know.